This is a tutorial of the side lunge shifting flow. So we'll do a really quick warm up and then we'll go through the flow step by step. We'll start on the hands and knees and just come to all fours. 3 cat-cows, connect to your breath. Inhale to arch and exhale to round. Allow your head to hang and push your hips forward. 2 more simple, inhale to arch. Exhale to round, push the hands into the floor and the back of the ribs to the ceiling. One more time, inhaling to arch and then exhale to round. Come back to the arched position, look at the front edge of your mat and curl your toes under. Shift your weight back so your hips sit back on your feet, and then shift your weight forward, uncurl the toes and round your spine. Look at the front edge of your mat, arch your back, curl the toes under, sit back toward your feet. You'll feel a stretch on the underside of your feet and toes, and then shift forward, untuck, round, curl the tail under. If it's accessible to you, curl the toes under, and instead of just sitting back towards your feet, actually let go of the mat and physically sit on your feet with your toes curled under, and then shift forward onto your hands, untuck the toes, but tuck the tail under round. So keep alternating like this between the two, and if it's available to you, pushing back off of your hands, and if it's not, it's okay, you can keep your hands on the mat. Do 3 more, inhale to sit back, and exhale to shift forward and round. 2 more times. So what this is going to do is really open up your foot ankle to allow you to get deeper into your squats and lunges so that you can actually get more hip mobility through having more ankle mobility. So once you've done enough of those, you're going to lay on your side. So you're on your side and you have your shoulders, your hips, and your feet aligned with the back edge of the mat. So you have a 45-degree angle in your hips here. You'll take both feet off the mat and flex them. Keep your top hip pointing straight forward as you clam the top leg open 10 times. Exhale to open, little pause. Inhale to close, exhale. Inhale down, exhale. And as you're doing this, keep your butt sticking out behind you. There's a baby arch in your back. Little pause every time you open the knee, and whether your knee is open or closed, your pelvis does not move. So we're warming up your external rotators. Keep your knee open and hold. Extend your leg out, kick, it's kick to the clam. Resume the bent knee position, close the knee down 10. Open, extend, bend, close it down. Have a little pause in each part of this. Little pause when you open, little pause when you kick, little pause when you resume your clam, and then close. Be really specific and focused on cleaning up your form here, because it's just really going to warm up your hips nicely for the big hip mobility that we're going to come into next. Not to mention, we will kind of repeat the same patterning from a standing plane later on when we're flowing. So once we've done at least 10 of those, lower the feet, we Charleston. Your leg is internally rotated, then you lift it up, you externally rotate, tap your heel down to your heel. Lift it right back up, rotate in, tap your knee to your knee, lift up, rotate out, heel to heel. Keep going. Have a little bounce so you have a lift in the in-between. It's like your leg is making a big arc, and you're alternating between your 2 rotations, maximum rotation in each position without allowing your pelvis to move. After you've done at least 10 of those, right away, swing your legs around, switch sides. So you'll set yourself up at the back edge of the mat, shoulders, hips, and feet at the back edge. Feel the abs lifting up, your butt sticking out for sure. Both feet come up, exhale 10. Inhale to close, exhale 9. Little pause every time you open, hold, and then close. It's just a beat, and then you close. Exhale to open. Keep going. I like to touch my hip, but if you need to touch the mat, that's fine too. I just find that it helps me stay in control of my form. It just is a good kind of assessment for me to know that my pelvis isn't moving and that we're just finding pure external rotation of the hip, moving to kick to the clam, open, kick, bend, close it down. So we have at least 10 of these. All the same rules apply. Little pause in each position, especially that kick moment, so we can thoroughly warm up our hip socket, get it ready for some large range of motion. Breathe. Exhale to open. Top hip pointing straight forward the whole time. Little arch in your low back. After 10, we go right into Charleston. Internal rotation, lift up, externally rotate, tap it down. Lift, rotate in, lift, rotate out. Again, you can do whatever you want with your hand. If you need to touch the mat, that's fine. I like to touch my hip, to make sure my forearm is ideal. Breathe, exhaling when you externally rotate. 2 more. Last one. All right. Quick plank. Send your legs back, straight arms and legs, feet are parallel, holding your plank for 5. Build some heat. 4, abs drawing in and up. 3, push the floor away. 2, keep your arms straight, bend your knees to sit back towards your feet, and then shift your weight forward for 5. Inhale back, exhale 4. And you're just feeling your thighs, your arms, and your core warming up. Last one, hold your plank for 3, for 2, for 1. Walk your feet forward. Carefully come up to standing, wide-legged squat. So your feet are wide and your toes are pointing out wide. Pelvis is either neutral or a little bit arched. Either is fine. Touching your hips will help you ensure that your form is good. You inhale to bend the knees, feeling that both hips are on the same plane, and you exhale to stand up for 5. Inhale to bend. Spine is straight up and down, head above the tailbone. Legs are pushing out. It's an external rotation, but your pelvis does not tuck under when you do that. If anything, you can arch your back. 2 more. Inhaling to bend. Exhale to extend. Go a little bit further this time. Inhale to bend. Exhale to extend. Stay up and bring your feet a little bit wider. So my feet are pretty wide now. It's almost challenging to stay upright. Instead of bending both knees, bend one knee only, keep the other leg straight. We're moving into our flow. So you shift your weight over to bend both knees, but the hips stay on the same plane, and then make any sort of adjustments once you're all the way down. So here's where that foot ankle mobility is really key. If your heel is up, that's fine. It'll just make it a little more challenging. Try to keep the heel bone down. The other leg straightens and you flex the foot. Touch the mat to begin with. Carefully bend both knees to shift your weight over. Ideally, the hips stay on the same plane. One more time each side. Walk your hands on the mat. This is early. Shift over. One leg is straight. And then transfer your weight over. Now this time when you shift over, see if you can hold your hands together in front of you or wide to the side. Just try not to touch the floor. So there's this transitional moment where both knees are bent and then one leg straightens. Inhale, exhale. We're gonna add a step. Whew. Shift over, inhale, exhale, pause. You're gonna spin this knee down as you sit on the mat. Look at the front edge of the mat. So we'll do that transition one more time. Spin your knee up, shift your weight forward so your butt is off the mat. Now you will sit on the mat as this knee rotates in and you look at the front edge of the mat. Spin back to face the front. Shift your weight forward so your butt comes off the mat. Shift over, other side. Hold for a moment. The knee rotates in as you turn to face your front leg and the front edge of the mat on the other side. Turn to face forward again. The knee externally rotates. Your body weight has to shift forward so your hips come off of the mat, but then you sit back down. The leg internally rotates. Look forward. Square yourself back off. Shift your weight forward. Other side, let's add on. So you shift your weight over. You spin to face the front edge of the mat. The knee rotates down. Now, one arm rotates back and you plant the hand on the floor on the outside of the mat. You keep this leg bent. You keep this leg straight. You push into your hand and lift your hips up. Hold. You're looking at your backhand. You have a big rotation in your spine. You're pushing your hips toward the ceiling. You slowly sit your hips down. You look forward. You rotate the knee back to shift your hips forward. Your butt has now come off of the mat again. Shift over to the other side. Once you're there, the knee rotates down. You look at the front edge of the mat. Take the hand to the outside of the mat. Push into your hand and lift your hips up. Hold. You're looking at your backhand. You're pushing your hips up. You slowly lower down with that leg internally rotated again. Shift your gaze as the knee externally rotates. Bring your weight forward so your tailbone comes off. One more time each side. Shift over, knee rotates down, hand on the floor, hips push up. Inhale. Exhale, hips lower down. Externally rotate the leg, shift your weight forward, move to the other side. Knee rotates down, hand is down, hips lift up. Inhale. Exhale, hips lower. Turn to face forward again, shift your weight forward. Adding on, shift your weight over. Same steps. Knee comes down, Hand to the outside of the mat, hips lift up, hold. Keep looking at your back hand. Keep pushing your hips to the ceiling. Now, the abs draw in and up, and if it's accessible to you, the back foot hovers off the mat for a moment. So your top arm is reaching back towards your back foot. Plant your foot on the mat again. Lower down, so you have the leg internally rotated. Externally rotate, shift your weight forward. Your butt is off the mat. Shift over, switch sides. The knee rotates down. The hand to the outside of the mat. The hips lift up, hips are high. You're looking back towards your back foot. If it's available to you, the foot comes off of the mat just for a moment. The knee stays bent though. The foot replaces to the mat. You lower the hips down with that leg internally rotated. Externally rotate to shift your weight forward, other side. Shift over, knee comes down. Hand to the floor, hips lift up. Inhale, back foot leaves the mat if you can. Replace the foot down. Lower the hips with the leg internally rotated. Externally rotate to shift forward, move over to the other side. Knee rotates down, hand to the floor, hips lift up. Keep the hips lifted. The hand and foot are reaching toward each other as the back foot hovers. Replace the back foot down, lower the hips with the leg internally rotated. Externally rotate, shift forward, continuing on. Shift your weight over, knee rotates down. Hand to the outside of the mat, hips lift up, hold. Back foot leaves the mat for a moment, back foot comes down. Lower the hips down, and then bring that leg externally rotated. Shift your weight forward, but keep going so you face the front edge of the mat again. So now we're in this low lunge. The back heel has spun up to face the ceiling, and we're getting a big hip opener through the back leg. From there, swivel to face the front edge of the mat again to switch sides. Shift over, knee rotates down, hand to the outside of the mat, lift the hips up, back foot hovers for a moment. The back foot is down, lower the hips down. The knee rotates up, you keep swiveling the back heel to the ceiling, square to the front edge of the mat. Turn to face forward, transition to other side. One more time, same pieces. Shift over, knee down, hips up, back foot hovers up, back foot down. Lower the hips, knee externally rotates, keep spinning around, back heel to the ceiling, you're in a low lunge. Turn to face the front, we're in our side lunge, shift over other side. Knee rotates down, hand on the floor, hips up, back foot down. Hips lower, leg externally rotates, you keep going in that direction, back heel up, low lunge. Turn to face the front, let's add on. Shift your weight over. Our weight is over, the knee comes down. We plant the hand, the hips lift up. Back foot leaves the mat, back foot touches the mat. We lower the hips all the way down. We keep spinning the back heel up. Now from here, the front leg straightens, nose to the knee. Let's take two like this. So just bend the knee, shift your weight forward, inhale. Exhale, straighten the leg, fold in half, nose to the knee. One more time. Bend the front knee, inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold in half. Bend the knee, look forward again. Now swivel to face forward so we can transition sides. Shift over, thigh rotates down, hand down, hips up. Back foot up for a moment. Back foot down. Lower the hips, knee comes up, we swivel all the way around, back heel up. We'll take our little mobility moment. Straighten the leg, nose to the knee. Bend the front knee, 3. Straighten the front leg, chest down. Shift the weight forward, bend the front knee. One more time. Once we're back in that low lunge, spin to face the front. Let's add on. Shifting over, knee down, hand down, hips up, back foot up. Back foot down, hips lower. Swivel all the way around, back heel up, fold in half. Now, keep your hands on the floor. This leg that's in front of you, brush it back to an elephant high arabesque or a 3-legged dog. Now you keep your back leg up and you do a giant fan kick so it goes wide to the side. You shift your weight forward onto your hands like an elephant as you take your foot down next to your hands, and then you swivel back into your side lunge to begin the other side. Shift over, thigh down, hand down, hips up, back foot up, back foot down, hips lower. Keep swiveling around, back heel spins up, fold in half. Keep your hands on the mat. The leg that's in front of you, swing it back and up. High, circle it wide. As it gets right next to you, lift your back heel and shift your weight forward onto your fingertips a little. That will allow you to place your foot down. So at the end of that fan kick, it's really important that you find this rounded upper back elephant sensation so you can create the room and space to take your foot down. Let's flow 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. We shift it over, knee goes down, hand down, hips up, back foot up, back foot down, lower the hips, knee comes up, swivel all the way around, back heel up, straighten the front leg, brush the front leg back, circle it up, lift the back heel and shift your weight forward, rounded upper back as that leg comes around, plant it down, the other foot swivels, we switch sides, shifting over, knee down, hand down, hips up, back foot down, lower the hips. Leg externally rotates. We swivel our body all the way around, back heel up, straighten through the front leg, nose to the knee. Swivel that back foot back up and around as it widens to the side with that big range of motion. Back heel lifts, your upper body rounds to make room to get that foot down. Swivel through the other leg so it's externally rotated and go again. Shift over, leg internally rotates, hand down, hips up, back foot down, lower the hips. Keep swiveling all the way around, back heel up, straighten the front leg. Brush the front leg back, up and around. Big range of motion here. Back heel lifts, upper spine rounds to get your foot down next to your hands. Back leg swivels, that external rotation, just switch sides over, internally rotate, hips up, back foot down, lower the hips, keep spinning all the way around, back heel up, straighten the front leg, nose to the knee, brush the front leg back, up and around. As it swings forward, lift the back heel, round the upper back to get your foot down, turn to face the front, one more time each side, let's flow. Shift it over, knee down, hand down, hips up, back foot down. Lower the hips, keep swiveling all the way around, back heel up, front leg straightens, brush the front leg back, swing it around, lift the back heel, round your upper back, your foot goes down, we're ready to begin the other side, shift over, knee down, hand down, hips up, back foot down, lower all the way around, keep going, back heel up, front leg straightens, brush the leg back. Circle around, lift the heel, round the spine to take it over, and there you are. That's your flow. So as you go through this flow, it's up to you now to determine how quickly or slowly you want to do it. You can add it on to other flows. You can go through very, very quickly for a more intense endurance-based workout, or you could go really slow and refined. Either way, this flow will increase your hip mobility and be a very strong glute and leg strengthener. Thank you for spending your practice with me and for taking this time for yourself.